Hello beautiful people, my name is Zach Dowdy, and recently I was in New York City visiting some friends, and they took me to all these epic skate spots and skate parks. So in this video I'm going to be kind of breaking down a guide to skateboarding in New York from my experience. The goal of this video is to hopefully give you a little bit of an insight so you can make the most of your time if you're thinking about going to New York and skateboarding, because it's a lot bigger than people anticipate, or if you just enjoy skateboard tourism and things of that, this video will also be for you. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the skateboarding, I do want to touch on accommodations in New York. Now, in my opinion, it's a really good idea to try to stay in Brooklyn versus anywhere else because it's a more residential side of the city, and you're probably going to be able to find much more affordable accommodations. I actually found a hotel being a lot cheaper than Airbnb, and that was because this was a little bit of a last minute trip. I have also stayed with friends, so if you have friends that you can stay with, do it. You're going to save a lot of money. But if it's in a case where you're thinking about Airbnb or a hotel, a lot of times you really have to weigh out the differences. I stayed at Williamsburg Hotel on this trip specifically because it was located pretty centrally in Brooklyn by other skate spots and skate parks, as well as where my friends live. Now, I do want to keep in mind this is a really short stay in New York City. Like, I was there literally for a few days, so this video is kind of how you make the most of your short time there. If you have recommendations and a much more practical way on how to break all this down, please leave your comments down below. I really appreciate it because I do plan to go out next year and spend a lot more time enjoying all the skate parks and skate spots out there. Before we get into the skateboarding, the easiest way to commute around New York is definitely the subway. But if the subway is overwhelming for you and you're just not used to that kind of public transit, I would say the second best way is biking or skateboarding. Using an Uber or taxi, anything like that, it just takes so long to get around the city. So I highly suggest not doing Uber or anything like that, getting a bike or just skating around. Or learning the subway is definitely the best way to get around. There's a few different trains, and the other thing is if you use Google Maps, a lot of times it does break down the actual transportation through the subway system. After a few rides back and forth, you really do understand it. At first it is a little bit overwhelming, but after a couple of rides, I definitely got a lot more familiar with it. The first skate park that I want to mention and kind of talk about today, or the first spot that I went to, is the McCarren Skatepark, because it was only a 10-minute skate from the hotel that I was staying at. Now, I think every skate park needs to have a moment, special obstacle there. And what's really cool about these smaller skate parks, they always do have that moment. Like this little bank behind me, or I shouldn't say little, probably about 4.5 feet, maybe 5 feet at the most, but it's only got like 3 inches of tranny on the bottom, as you can see. So it's pretty gnarly. And then the throwdown over there is on some crusty ground. So this is almost like a skate spot inside of the skate park, because this is on the outer side, and then you get into the inside of the skate spot. So it's kind of cool when you have these little skate parks and they offer something very unique. Skating something like this is gonna definitely improve your skills and make you more vigilant in skating DIY spots, which you know I love. So behind me is a really rad curb on top of a bank. So it's a bank to curb, but it's got a corner to it. I'm gonna try a couple slappies, lip slides, things like that. I don't know, but it's a really cool obstacle. I think that's one of my favorite things in this skate park. The only downfall, I'd say the one bad thing about the skate park is they put a flat rail right in front of the quarter pipe. I always just think that's not necessary. They have a nice long flat rail right here, like an up, down, and flat. You could skate it any different way, and then they added another template one right there, which, you know, you could probably just take that out and be completely good. That's just my opinion. It's all subjective. But yeah, the curb, I think, is definitely one of the coolest things at the skate park, along with the bank. One of the reasons that I really do like these kind of smaller skate parks is because they're almost like a segment of a much bigger park, and it feels like you're just a part of the environment there. It's not so disclosed, and it's not so much of a different section like it is in California. There are gates sometimes, but a lot of times there really isn't. It's just a section, a segment of the already existing park, which I really love. Now the next spot that I checked out was only 10 minutes from McCarren as well, and it's called the Cooper Skate Park. I've never been here before, but I had a really fun time.
I think one of the cool moments, which when I'm referring to moments, I mean an obstacle, but a lot of times when we talk about obstacles in skate parks, they're very standardized, but this one is really cool. This is a cool moment here at this skate park. It's a pull jam over the Euro gap. It's kind of deadly, but really rad. Grind's really cool. The other thing I really like about the skate park is all the banks that are everywhere, and they kind of just go off to the skate park and return you back, which is much better than just having nothing there. All the ledges over here are really cool. Like there's a reverse ledge that goes down and up, and then there's one that goes up and down, kind of flip-flop them in front of each other. That is really dope. The other thing I really like about this park is this long quarter pipe. It's built so good. Like this radius of transition, I don't know what it is, but it gets you to the lip really quickly. So well designed, well thought out. Then there's a hole in the middle, which kind of makes it fun. You gotta get over the hole. It's pretty small, but it adds a little bit of fear factor, which every skateboarder does enjoy. Like this little bank, for example, they could have just stopped the skate park there, but instead they extended it with a bank to turn you back around, which I think is a really good idea.
Now, after Cooper Skate Park, I highly suggest you go check out the DIY skate spot called Sparks. It's in Long Island, Queens, right by the Sparks Deli. Now, after the Sparks DIY spot, I think it's a good time to head over to Manhattan, the big city, and see what some of the more larger skate parks have to offer. The first and a pretty standard staple skate park, I feel like maybe one of the most famous now, is the LES Coleman Skate Park, aka Lower East Side, and that was the first skate park that we hit. But because it was so crowded, it was in the middle of the day, I didn't really film anything or anything like that, but definitely check it out. If you're gonna go to LES skate park, go really early. That is my one suggestion. Get there early because it gets crowded very fastly. The next spot that we're gonna hit up, which is a really cool spot, really rad locals, probably the best transition that's in all of New York City in my opinion, and it's on the other side of Manhattan, is the Chelsea Pier, aka Pier 62 skate park. You got really cool locals, super rad skate park. Unfortunately, I didn't film too much skating when I was there. I filmed this clip of my friend Joey skating the bull, and you can see how cool this bull in this shape is. There is a lot of people that are always skating this park as well, but it has better flow than LES in my opinion, and because there's more transition, it sort of keeps people in a refined area versus the big open space. So really fun skate park. Definitely highly suggest hitting this place if you're into skating transition. The next skate park that I wanted to talk about is on the same side of Chelsea Pier. It's just up the road, basically a 20-minute or so drive, depending on how bad traffic is. Of course, you never know. If you have a bike, it might even be faster. But it is the Riverside Skatepark. They had just finished this when I was out there, and my camera died when I got to that skate park, but I did film a little tour on my phone.
All right, so I never really record on my phone. Normally I'm using a camera. However, in the middle of the day, my camera batteries died. We just arrived at this epic new skate park here in the city called Riverside. It's kind of on the east side, so we're gonna be giving a little bit of a tour today of this skate park, kind of checking it out. Sorry if my audio is really bad. This is kind of an experimental iPhone vlog of the skate park. We're gonna get some skating in too, but first let's just check out this epic new skate park. Damn, look at those things. This is crazy. It's like a zigzag slappy thing. Pretty nuts. So in general, I think this is like the street plaza area. Behind me, there's like a mini ramp area, as you can see. Really rad. Then you have these ledges down here. There's little pink ledges. Got another little sick bank behind me here with a channel in the middle. Some more ledges. What's rad about this skate park, it does feel, sorry G, more like a plaza than it does feel like a skate park. There's no gate around it. It's right on the river. Beautiful river view. Can't be bummed about that, but yeah. Overall, it looks really rad. That's kind of a quick little tour of the street area. Got some steps over here as well. Got the film crew on site. Always good to have the film crew. Make sure they get in the clips. This thing is pretty insane right here on this corner. It's like a spine hip thing. I never see myself when I'm filming, so this is so weird. First time I've ever like seen myself while I'm filming these things. But yeah, overall it's probably really rad. Super long flat bar over there in the middle. Kind of reminds me of Linda Vista Skate Park in San Diego, but like not as jam-packed. Little Jerkyberry Wally thing right here. There's a lot of abstract obstacles here so far already. I can tell that's what's really cool about this skate park. It's not like other skate parks where it's like very cookie cutter. It's not a California skate park, that's for sure. So super cool. And then you come over here, and this is actually where there's a pool. And I think they actually finished the pool in the second part of the process of the skate park. So we're gonna go up here and check this out. You kind of have to like walk around this little side thing, and it kind of spits you up to this little top area, which I think is kind of cool. I think separating the bowl section from the street section can sometimes be annoying because you kind of want to hop around both. But in some cases like this one where we have such a big bowl, it's kind of nice because your board will shoot out often. Like out of the deep end yesterday, my board at Chelsea Park was going everywhere. Here, if your board goes out, it's just hitting the gate. So that is pretty cool. And then they have like a little stage over here. I think you can kind of chill out, probably parents, whoever. I mean, you could ollie it, you could skate it. Ian's gonna hill flip it here in a second, right Ian? We got Joey over here. We're gonna get some skating in. Just kind of want to give you a quick overview of this overall skate park. Brand new, just opened up. I actually don't know if it's officially open. We might be kind of barging it right now. I mean, look at that. It's not far at all. All right, here it is. Woo, daddy. When I saw pictures of this, it actually didn't have a deck. So they just finished the deck like, I think a couple days ago or maybe a week ago. I'm not really sure. But look at all this coping. It looks so fresh, brand new. This looks like some good concrete. So I'm gonna get warmed up and then I'll get Ian to film some clips of me here in the pool. Get some clips of Joey because he's gonna be shredding too. I think the deep end is pretty big. There's definitely some vert on there, probably around 11 feet. The shallow end looks like it might be around 5 feet. It's mellow, but then gets steep at the top. It's definitely like very steep bowl. Got to a spot called the Riverbanks because it's right here on the river. We got Joey pushing hard. I just grabbed some pizza. It was delicious from the bodega up the street. What I did notice about being here in the last couple of days is there's so many really cool brick spots and different kind of like material, where in California a lot of it is concrete or prefabricated material, things like that. So what is really cool about here, there's so much older kind of spots. Basically this bank would probably be concrete back home, but here it is brick, so it makes it a new challenge, makes it pretty fun, pretty dope. You know, it's been a really long time since I've ever gone to a spot and be like, what's been done here? But Ian, break it down. What's been done here?
Pretty good bank, so I think a lot of stuff has been done.
That's what I feel about these kind of spots. It's like, it's not about what has been done, because it's probably everything.
To be honest, I haven't really seen a lot in footage. Like a bunch of my friends,
a lot more photos.
Kickflip back tail, switch crook, switch front crook.
Yeah, don't have those expectations for me. Just by the way,
you can't really do like Smiths or Feebles on them, so that kind of gives you like
it's too banked out on the top. It's like too round,
but it's perfect.
It's good for. It looks like it'd be good for tail slides and blunt slides.
If you're ever in New York.
Yeah.
Riverside Skatepark.
Yep. Pretty sick. Damn, we're just giving away the spots.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I noticed about New York skaters. They're not as like toxic as California skaters in the sense that like they hide things, or it's like you're not allowed to go there. I do like that. It's a little more open in that sense. So yeah, let's get some skating. Keep in mind, this video is made by me, a Southern California native that went out to the East Coast to try to make the most of my time while I was there. So these were some of the spots that I hit. I always want to know your guys' suggestions, especially since I've seen there's a lot of you that actually live in New York or in that area, and I love that. Super hyped because I want to come skate with you guys next time I'm out there in a few months. Leave your comments down below, suggestions, things that I may have missed out on, because I know there's a lot more to skate, and this is just what I did in the short time that I was there. So hope you guys enjoy this little video on breaking down some of my favorite spots and how I went about skating in New York. Please let me know if you did enjoy it. I'll make more videos. Maybe we could do one on California, San Diego, Los Angeles, Bay Area, etc. See you guys in the next one. Mash.
I just found the wax too. That's always rad when you show up at a spot and there's just wax behind hand. Something like this where it's pretty raw dog, probably gonna need a couple wax coats to get it going.